And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head to death.
Worry about my posse getting jumped. Cause if we ever do, yo, TB, pop the trunk. Cause we make a pop the trunk and hit the switch.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me your boom.
He is Jalen Rose.
What up, dog?
I'm David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in, center stage on the mic.
And we putting it on wax. It's the new style.
Together we are Jalen and Jacoby. What is it that we do, Mr.
We
Rose?
get the people.
Yes.
Whoa. What they want.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to Jalen and Jacoby. Before we get the show started, we have a very important message. That message is for the ladies.
Hey, ladies.
Tomorrow is Woman Crush Wednesday, where we celebrate all of the females around the world, the more superior, more intelligent, better smelling, kinder, just generally superior,
Smarter,
gender.
more disciplined, harder working.
The ladies. We take only female voicemails, so ladies,
Stronger.
call 985-80 Jalen and leave us voicemails. We'll get to those voicemails tomorrow. Today we are taking all callers.
More talented, beautiful.
Or at least the callers that give Reggie a shout out. Let's listen to the first caller.
What up, though? This is Jeff calling from Eastern Idaho. Shout out Reg, a.k.a. Big Reg 23. Get those followers up. Give him a mic, Jalen. Give him a mic, Jacoby. I've got a cultural or regional question for you. I'm at the park right now, watching my kids at the skate park. They're riding scooters and skateboards and bikes at the skate park. And I'm noticing that there's a lot more people that look like Jacoby here than those that look like Jalen. So I'm wondering if this is cultural or regional, because I'm in Eastern Idaho. So, you know, maybe it's just here, maybe it's everywhere, that I'm just not seeing a lot of people that look like Jalen here at the park. So tell me, cultural or regional? Out.
Skate park is universal nowadays. You go back 15 years, it's cultural. Nowadays, skate park is definitely universal. You're just in Eastern Idaho. You know what I mean? I mean, shout out to Eastern Idaho. I've had some good times in Idaho before.
This is a perfect topic to show why we're so much alike, yet so different. Number one, it's cultural. Yep. Number two, it's suburban. Yep. Did you just say something about skate parks? Where do they exist?
Jalen Rose. Every single day when I ride my bike to work and I go down Allen Street, there is a huge skate park right at the base of the Manhattan Bridge, and it is always full. There are people in the winter, and I ride by on my way to work at 7:15 in the morning, and there are people there of all colors. I would say that it is mainly minorities at that skate park right here in New York City. I would say that the local skate park is a reflection of the local community, especially amongst the youth. I'd say this is different a while ago.
People from Los Angeles and New York, and I'm not going to get political here, but it played out more for me during the most recent presidential election.
Wait, what?
How people in those two large markets have a warped view on what's happening in the other 48 states.
Jalen Rose. Sometimes you're just wrong about things, man.
Like
you're wrong about this one.
People in Los Angeles and L.A.
So what is your thesis statement? Don't talk about, let's move away from the presidential election. What's your thesis statement about skate parks?
My thesis is it's skate parks are in the suburbs, yep, and skate parks are cultural.
Yep. Wrong.
That's
wrong.
My thesis.
You're wrong. You know what? You're just a little too old. You're just a little too old. You're out of touch. You're out of touch. You know what?
I don't mind being
just
proven wrong.
Let your little brother just take you under his wing.
Okay.
The skate game has changed, Mr. Rose.
I know it has.
The skateboard game has changed.
It has.
You know, when me and you were coming up, there was no one looking at you, looking like you.
When me and you were coming up, it was 95-5.
Oh yeah.
Now it's 70-30.
Yep. It's a reflection of the local community. Trust me.
Still double.
Trust me. Yep. And one thing that baffles me is when I was coming up, I used to read Thrasher magazine. Thrasher magazine was this like underground skate magazine you could only get in certain stores, and they would have pictures of dudes doing tricks and looking cool.
Just think about what you said. Just think about what you just said. You took your hard-earned money and bought a skate magazine.
Yeah, and
Do you think I would do that?
This was 25 years ago. And if you would let me finish before you interrupted,
yes, sir.
I would say that now I see the Thrasher magazine logo all over the place on people of all different colors. Like the skate style, maybe not even the act of actually skating. The skate style is now universal. Nike SBs. You know what the SB stands for? Skateboard. You know who's wearing them? Everybody.
I was going to say suburbs.
Then the actual official title of the basketball league that like my high school was in was the Suburban League.
There you go.
So if we won, to be like, we won the Suburban League, guys. It's just like hard to be proud.
So you got some guys that look like me that moved to the suburbs and bought skateboards, but they didn't have them in the hood.
You're only one skateboard away from being that guy.
It's hard.
Oh yeah, you see Kanye? You see Kanye?
Do it before
Kanye
it's
on a
hard.
skateboard? Like Kanye was hanging out at a skate park, and they're like, "Hey, can you ollie?" They try to show him how to ollie. There's certain things I'm just not good at. I can't draw. My handwriting is terrible.
Can't either.
I can't draw a thing. I can't impersonate people. If someone's like doing an impersonation of Jalen Rose, I'd be like,
I can't.
And another thing I can't.
Sound like a former comedian with that impersonation.
I cannot skate. I can't skate. I can't skate. Like I just can't. I can't jump, and I think jumping translates. Like I can't ollie that well. I think I've landed one kickflip in my life, and I've spent a lot of hours trying. A lot.
I can't jump.
You can get buckets.
I can't skate.
You can get buckets.
I can't impersonate people. I can't draw.
What else?
But what I want to do is learn a second language. Like, I keep speaking this into the atmosphere so it would challenge me to do it.
Yeah. Well, what are you looking for? You can't just say L second language, target a language.
I think we should do something on the show where each week we try to teach you, me, and the masses who don't know Spanish is the language a new word. That'd be fun.
Sure. I took a lot of Spanish. I took like 1 year of Spanish classes, but I did 2 weeks in Costa Rica and like lived with the family and like took classes every day. Like really, it wasn't just like a vacation, even though I did kick it. But I like learned a lot of Spanish in those 2 weeks. After those 2 weeks, I was rocking. I was conversational. But guess what? That was 22 years ago.
I'm glad this is pod material because I want to say one of the dumbest things I've ever spoken to the atmosphere. And I know you guys have been like, we've been watching you since the Fab Five. You've been working at ESPN almost 15 years. We've seen you say a lot of dumb stuff. Not like this. I remember sitting in a high school class and the teacher was coming over to me talking about learning Spanish and paying attention. Mm-hmm. And I thought I was smooth. I thought I was fly. Kikiing. Why do I need to learn Spanish? I ain't never going to Spain. How ignorant is that?
That's really ignorant. That's really ignorant, Jalen. You were a very different person, I mean. Very different person.
If I knew a second language right now, I'd be wearing hoop earrings like Michael Jordan.
The problem is there's two levels. They're like, you can understand it. It's another thing to have the confidence to use it. You know what I mean? Like I can speak Spanish, but then I'm embarrassed a little bit about it.
Gotta be careful.
And then, you know what I mean? And then like it just kind of like it comes out a little like halfway. Like you gotta lean into it and like really do it.
No such thing as halfway crooks.
There isn't. And like that's really where I end up. For real. Thank you for the call. Shout out to East Idaho.
That was a great call.
That might be our first East Idaho call.
Shout out.
Remember that whack chant, Idaho?
No.
And then
No. I don't remember the chant, but however you're about to finish it, I can tell from your face. I know you well enough. You probably just should.
Yeah, I ain't.
Let's just bail on that one. But about to hit the too hot for TV button. Reggie's on the buttons today.
Too hot for TV.
You out last night, Reg? You out last night, Reg? What happened, Reg?
Can in December be the month that we get Reg a microphone?
No, this caller even said it. Let's get Reg a mic. You don't understand. Because here's what, do you want to spend an hour talking about Harold Baines being in the Hall of Fame? Because I know Reggie's passionate about that.
Harold Baines.
I saw that. I was like, oh, Reggie's going to be so mad. Reggie's going to be so mad. He'll Darrell Revis the whole thing. A block, Harold Baines. B block, implications of Harold Baines. C block, why not Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame?
Why shouldn't Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, it's like this is the whole
and
thing.
why we should keep Carmelo out.
Yeah, that's all he cares about. And every time you mention Dwight Howard being in the Hall of Fame, you do it with just Reg in mind. And
I do it on purpose.
And you make him throw his Yankee hat in the
ground.
ground.
For the average NBA fan, I just throw it out there that Carmelo and Dwight Howard are going to be in the Hall of Fame, and they actually yell at me.
One of my favorite things about it is There's a couple things. You always mention something that if you're not from one of these cities and you're a fan of one of these teams, Packers, the Yankees, the Cowboys,
Steelers,
Lakers, then you're basically
Alabama.
Then you're basically like a front-running fan, fake front-running fan.
No doubt.
Reggie falls into one of those categories. Reggie falls into one of those categories.
No, you can't
Reggie's
find
in
somebody
one of those
that's
categories.
No, if you find
Reggie's in
somebody
one
that's
of
a
those
fan of
categories.
two of those teams.
Man, Reggie just said that. Reggie just said that in your ear.
No,
Reggie just said that in your ear.
No, that's exactly that's what it was.
Reggie just said it in your ear.
That's what it was, though. That's what it was.
Okay, so you hear that? Reggie just said into our ear. That's why I need a mic, yo. So Reggie's now finally admitting on wax that he wants one.
Well, he needs one.
Yep.
He got one. He can speak into our ears.
Well, the reason why I want him to have a mic is
He's
because
3,000 miles away.
you guys take 5 minutes a day to argue like an old married couple. So during that 5 minutes, it gives me a chance to go get more hot water, use the bathroom.
I like to keep my colleagues accountable. Sorry, that's all. They're slowing the buttons. So let's just do another voicemail. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi.
What up, though? Jalen and Jacoby. Shout out, Reg. It's Jordan from Chicago. You guys said you wanted power couples to call simultaneously. I'm here with the other half of my power couple.
Casey from Vietnam.
You remember the one who cooked eggplants for her boyfriend on his birthday even though he didn't like him? Yeah, that's me. That's her. So she just got her visa appointment today to study in the United States, and she passed her visa. And you know what we had for dinner? Leftover vegetables and rice at home. We didn't do anything to celebrate. Jacoby, you are the expert on celebrating. People need to celebrate more. So give us your advice. What would you do to celebrate someone getting a visa to the United States? Keep getting them checked.
First of all, we love power couples.
Congratulations. Reg, can we get some sirens and some hand claps?
Reg's
Like,
slowing
she
the buttons
passed
today.
her visa appointment. That's major.
Yes. And she, you can't break up this power couple.
This is here's what I rank power couples. The people who just called Jay and Beyonce, Barack and Michelle, in that order.
Yes.
In that order.
Yes. And then Cardi and Offset. So Jordan is from Chicago. Do you remember Eggplant Gate? I don't know if you remember this.
I do.
No, I'm not talking about the emoji. And so she cooked eggplant on my birthday, even though he didn't like it. Eggplant, you got like a 10% success rate with eggplant. When it's good, it's really good. But when it's not popping, it's really not popping. So she got her visa, passed, she approved, and they celebrated with two things I don't like. Leftover vegetables. Now, assuming that they are not vegans or vegetarians, this is a bit of a soft move. So they're looking to us. They're looking to me specifically, the celebration general. You know what I mean? I say people don't celebrate enough. Celebrate everything. Celebrate the little things. Celebrate the big things. You don't have to leave the house to celebrate. Maybe some adult beverages. And also, Jordan, I hate to put it on you, but this is really on you. You gotta do a massage.
That's where I was going.
You can go online and buy a gift card. It's not what do we do to celebrate. It's like, what do I do to celebrate her accomplishment?
Jordan, I'm going to tell you what the great American philosopher David Jacoby taught me in over 8 years of friendship and kinship. Always look at myself and ask, what could I have done or said better before I speak about what everybody else isn't doing? You're telling us about you guys not celebrating when she the one passed the test. She the one made you the eggplant. She the one called the program because you put her onto the show. And you're not falling on your knees and massaging her feet.
Doing whatever. Here's the thing.
Rubbing her
Jordan
back.
didn't expect this call to go this way.
Her.
Jordan was like, oh, they're going to call me a power couple. They're going to give her a shot.
We already did.
Keep it moving.
We did.
But here's the thing. Jordan, it wasn't a surprise test. You know what I mean? They didn't show up like, oh, hey, we didn't throw a piece of paper in front of her. No, she knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. You know there's potential for her to pass the test. You should have prepared something. But you know what? I don't have a time machine. I assume Jordan doesn't have a time machine. Big shout out to Michael Jordan for calling the show, by the way. Jordan in Chicago. I mean, he just didn't want to say his first name, but I think he's in a new relationship.
But here's the good news, Jordan. Go out and get her a gift. And people mistake the word for expense. That's two different things. Do something thoughtful, like something that can make her day easier. Whether it's a gas card, whether it's Starbucks, whether it's a gift card to her favorite restaurant or something. Something that when she's with her girlfriends or she's out and about during her journeys or now taking these classes that she passed to study.
This is a boss move that you're suggesting here.
She'll think about you.
For all gentlemen or ladies in a relationship, an intimate relationship.
Easy.
There's nothing better than give the gift when you're not there. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, you know what restaurant she's going to with her girls, have some flowers, or go to the restaurant ahead of time and give them $100 and say, dessert's on me, here's a little note. Like, if you give a gift when you are not there and you premeditate that, woof, she's going to propose to you.
Our favorite restaurants, no. My wife walk in here and she spend on her credit card, I'm never coming back. No. Never coming back.
Really? Your local spots, it's like that?
You know how I frequent places.
I know.
It ain't like it's
you taught me
places.
That. That's another lesson you taught me.
Yeah.
Just be a regular somewhere.
Exactly.
Be a regular.
You can forget stuff.
If I don't know the person's name is serving me, I'm not comfortable. Yeah. I'm a really good regular. I tip really well. My wife gets mad.
It's a different form of tithing. It's a different form. Tithing.
Yeah. And I say to her, I'm like, this is an investment. Like, why do you think they took me and you and the 3 kids and put us in our own little private back room where we won't bother nobody and the kids can scream and cry and do whatever they got to do? Because I tip them very well.
And the people that we just walk by in line wonder how they get a seat for 5, but we can't get a seat for 2.
Exactly. And the guy in the front, he's like, oh, wait, it's crazy in there. You got the kids? Okay, let's go in the side door. So we walk outside around the corner, go in the side door into the back.
And here's a valuable lesson. Tipping, you ready for this? Ain't even about the money.
No, it's not. Whether it's a $20 bill, maybe not a $1 or a $5 bill.
Ain't even about the money. It's the discretion. If they feel like you're doing it on the low or can't nobody see. And it's the thought. Because there's so many people they encounter all day that they've been over backwards for that don't say thank you and don't leave a tip.
Do you know what I'll do sometimes? I did this recently. And again, I learned this all from you. This is all from Jalen Rose. Is I'll be at a restaurant with a server and then I'll tip the server well. And I know if I had like a couple adult beverages, I'll just walk over to the bartender and tip the bartender too because she poured the adult beverages. And there's no reason, or he or she, there's no reason that they shouldn't get a little bit of something for their contribution. I'm talking about $5. People are like, oh, you're rich, Jacoby. No, it's a $5 investment.
It's not about the money.
You can barely get a granola bar for $5.
And also, you gotta pay attention to circumstances outside of yourself and also do that when you enter somebody else's domain. So yes, Jacoby's taking care of the server who then is going to take a couple of drinks off the tab because the server knows that I'm going to get a tip. But in that dynamic, that actually cuts out the person that made the drinks behind the bar. Mm-hmm. So when you take care of that person and the server, and don't let me meet a chef. Oh man, don't let a chef come out and tell me.
Last time it was crazy. It was a very busy establishment. And if you follow me on IG stories, you know where I was. And then so we were asking for ketchup. And then the kids want barbecue sauce. Now the kids want some more chicken fingers. And now we spilled something, so we need a napkin. And we got this busboy. Basically, he didn't even have to go to the gym afterwards because he's running back and forth to our table. And normally I don't tip a busboy, but under this circumstances, I was like, thank you so much. He went above and beyond.
Another lesson. It's almost like being a high-profile person or a celebrity. When you go to an establishment, the server, the maitre d' or the host, and or the chef and or bartender, guess what happens most of the time? They get tips. You know who doesn't get tipped? The people that you just mentioned. Like the bus boys.
The bar back.
All of those.
Yeah.
I make
the
sure.
Hostess, the security guard. But you're famous. I'm not famous like that. Like, they don't know me like that. But it doesn't mean you can't tip. You're listening to this podcast. You don't have to be Jalen Rose, been famous for 30 years to do this.
But here's what makes you famous. It's not your name or your accomplishments. It's going somewhere frequent. Mm-hmm. That's what makes you famous.
You're known.
I don't go to 10 different spots 10 times. I go to 2 different spots 5 times. 5 times 2 is 10.
Say that again, sir. Say that again, please. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jalen. I usually don't like to do this, but I got to do this.
All right, let me say it again.
I don't go to 10 different spots 10 times. I go to 2 spots 5 times.
5 times 2 is 10.
Yes, fact. 5 times 2 is 10. We can move on.
But that's great life advice.
Yeah. And Jordan.
You know what else?
I gotta, man. I know you're gonna listen to this, Jordan. You gotta do something.
I gotta do one complaint.
We just cost this guy Jordan like $100.
I gotta do one personal complaint.
About me or about life?
About me.
Okay.
I might be losing the waves. I tried.
Hit the brakes, Reg!
I tried.
Reg, hit the brakes.
I tried.
Jalen, no, stop the music and everything. Stop the music. Stop the music.
I tried. I have to do an admission.
Wait.
I'm a 45-year-old man.
Wait.
I know.
Jalen, talk to your buddy. No one else is listening. The microphones are turned off. What happened?
Couple of things happened.
What happened, buddy?
Starting to get lines and black spots on my forehead.
What?
No, you're not.
What?
From what?
From the do-rag.
From the do-rag.
Look.
That's the Beijing dye.
No, I don't have any Beijing dye in my hair. I have none in my hair. None.
But why are you losing the waves?
None. Let me show you. I don't have no.
Don't. Whatever you're about to do, don't do it. Whatever you're about to do, don't do it.
No, that's the biggest misconception about
water
me.
in his hands.
I don't have nothing in my hair. So nothing.
I believe you, Jalen. I don't think you're lying.
Nothing.
But why would you ever lose the waves? You're spinning.
Because
making them seasick. This is part of your whole thing.
I'd rather look younger.
What do you think makes you look younger?
Not having lines on my forehead.
I don't see lines
spots.
on your forehead. Okay, let me tell you something. Now this is an important life lesson for everybody listening. Okay, we all have our own hang-ups about ourselves physically. You know what I mean? Like, I'm 40 years old. I'm in pretty good shape, but I'm always concerned about my nipples and my gut. I got big poofy nipples, and all I see, and when I look at myself with my shirt off, it's just poofy nipples. And you're the same way with bumps on your head and lines in your head. Jalen, look at me in the face. You don't have bumps on your head. You don't have acne anymore. You've got very clear skin. You think you've got bumps and lines? That's just your own dysmorphia. I'm not kidding. Everyone's got it about something about themselves. You've got dysmorphia about this from childhood trauma. I'm being serious. What you need to do is understand that about yourself and remove it from yourself. You do not have bumps and lines in your head. I'm looking at your forehead right now. There's a slight discoloration. I'm not going to lie. Above your left eye. A very slight discoloration above your left eye. Very slight. Okay? But no one notices. No one notices. Do you know what people do notice? When you go bald, like it's a Fat Five all over again? I'm telling you, you are being dysmorphia. You're dysmorphic about this.
I'm going to trust my teammates. I'm going to trust my brothers.
It's true.
Trust y'all.
I'll tell you the truth.
Okay.
Slight discoloration over the left eye. Maybe don't tie the do-rag so tight. Outside of that, there are no bumps. There are no bumps.
All right, I'm going to keep, because by my birthday, I might as well say this on wax. I wasn't going to put this pressure on. Nah, I'm not going to say this on wax.
What's happening? You going to dunk?
No.
What is it?
Oh, I'll be dunking. I could dunk right now.
Okay.
You don't think I could dunk right now?
I think you can dunk. You're tall. You got some long ass arms. Yeah.
And you know I've been working out some.
Yeah. I know. You let me know.
Yeah, I can dunk.
So you're back. Nah. You're not going to kill the waves?
I'm not going to kill them yet. I'm not going to kill them.
You always say that you're only as loyal as your options. Like, what are you doing without the waves then? Then what happens?
Nothing.
I don't want to
just be a 45-year-old man.
I don't want my co-host. I know. I want a wavy co-host.
I'm going to try to stay spinning. Okay.
I want a wavy co-host. They look good.
If it wasn't for Reg, I wouldn't even have them.
I know. I think your plug isn't really. You know what? I'm going to put this on Reg a little bit. You know, everyone's got to look in the mirror. Reg needs to look in the mirror right now and be like, Jalen's in LA once a week. And do I hit him up with the whatever?
I have to say this.
And whatever you guys
got? This past Friday, Reg, you be proud of me. I tried to walk through the airport security with the gel that you gave me. They tried to take it from me.
Oh, no.
Right?
Oh, no.
So,
did you explain?
At the end of security,
first of all,
wink, nod.
I know TSA knows who you are.
Correct. So it's like the water thing. I'm not proud of this, but I'll say this into a microphone.
Go ahead.
So you know how they just give you a chance to go throw it away?
Yeah.
Put it in my pocket.
And they just let you go?
Yeah.
You abusing your celebrity, but here's the thing: you're abusing your celebrity to get some water into the terminal. That's not real abuse.
It wasn't for it wasn't for water. It was the grease
for the
that allowed the hair to lay down. They tried to take it from me.
Here's one thing I know about TSA: they cool.
They cool.
You know what I mean? They're not like, you know, we all know the different levels of authority. There's certain levels of authority where they're not cool. Like California Highway Patrol.
They're not cool.
They're not cool. You know what I mean? But TSA,
the only ones that them was cool was Ponch and John on chips.
Yeah, I swear to God, if you have fly kicks, the people at TSA will talk about it. Because they look at kicks all day because you put out the kicks and put them in the bin. They just stare at kicks all day, and they always know if you have something exclusive.
And you know what else? TSA operators. And I feel like Dave Chappelle here. Another underrated profession in society.
We're supposed to do one a week, right? Let's make that a Friday. Profession of the week.
Underrated. Like, their jobs is important, by the way.
That's the thing.
How important are their jobs?
Here's the problem with them. I think about them. I think about, like, the people that drive the tram that goes over to Roosevelt Island. Like, your job is super boring and monotonous until it's not. You know what I mean? Like, it's super monotonous. You're the TSA person. You got to stand there for hours at a time and just say, take your cell phones out. Make sure your cell phones and keys are out. Make sure your cell phones and keys are out. But you're also protecting the lives of all the people there. It's a weird mix of boring, monotonous, same. And also, I have all of these people's souls that I'm responsible for.
Correct.
You notice if I were to
like
TSA,
being a bus driver, a subway.
You notice this
operator?
about TSA people? They don't let everybody look at the 3D. They don't let everybody do that. It's only, you can tell it's only like the responsible nerdy ones. Those are the ones that, like, the ones like me.
Oh, yes.
The ones like me, they'd be like, all right, you're in charge of yelling at them about waters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They wouldn't let me look at the screen.
Yeah, they wouldn't let you look at the screen either. They know it's too good for that. Let's give the people what they want. All I care about is my nipples. Seriously.
A Sport Clips Championship haircut experience makes you feel like your hair has its own walk-up music. Maybe you play sports. Maybe you play sports online. Or maybe your sport is keeping up with your kids. Your hair deserves its own walk-up music. And at Sport Clips, we make it easy. A game-changing cut from a stylist trained for guys while you're surrounded by sports. Hair this good needs no introduction, but you'll want one anyway. So get in line online at sportclips.com/check-in and get your hair in the game.
Last night was the end of an era for one of the greatest duos in the history of the National Basketball Association. Dwyane Wade came into the Staples Center, played his last game against LeBron James, tried to win the game with that, tried to tie the game with that shot. LeBron James was like, I know you too well. You're not going to win. It was a wonderful event. There was a video for Dwyane Wade. It was the first time it really kind of felt a little bit like a farewell tour for Dwyane. I love this moment because I love relationships. I love friendships. What do you think the legacy of this partnership will be moving forward?
First and foremost, a kinship that is bigger than sports. Mm-hmm. And it's great to always see how basketball or professions bring people together, and all of a sudden you have a relationship that's way larger than the score of the game. Champions, teammates, one of the best duels of all time, and also the individuals that help usher in this era of super teams. People forget Pat Riley was actually the person pulling those strings.
Yep.
We, in hindsight, look at that situation like it was a LeBron James thing or a Dwyane Wade thing. Well, there had to be somebody that cleared that cap space prior.
Yes.
Okay. So I think they now gave LeBron James a championship formula and pedigree that once he got to Cleveland allowed him to take a lot of people from Miami that was a part of that championship scenario. Mm-hmm. Also know how to relate to Kyrie and Love, because this is what he had to deal with his peers in Wade and Bosh, and it eliminated a 50-year plus drought in Cleveland of championship glory, because everything that he learned in Miami, he was able to bring it to Cleveland. And once he was able to achieve that there, now he can end up where he chose, and in this case, the Los Angeles Lakers.
And don't forget, when he went to Miami, they had already won a championship. Dwyane Wade was already a champion, had an amazing finals, and Pat Riley, obviously Pat Riley's got rings. And it is sort of one of the stories that, like, LeBron James, we know what happened in Cleveland. We know what happened with that final roster. We know who he carried. Shout to Boogie Gibson. And we know what happened there, but like it seems like his time in Miami and his time with Wade is what helped him turn the corner, as you mentioned. But one thing I love about this duo is there's this thing from veterans like you, people that play the game a long time. Oh, back in my day, we weren't friends. We would never fraternize with the enemy because we all hated each other because we were real competitors. But what Dwyane Wade and LeBron James have proven is like, hey, just because we play against each other doesn't mean we can't be close friends. Doesn't mean that our families can't like each other. Doesn't mean we can't go on vacation. There's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that.
The words you just said, please save this clip, anybody that loves basketball. The words you just uttered about friendship, which now bleeds into familiarity, you have to look no further than last night. Because after the game, when Dwyane Wade tried his go-to move and he missed it because it was tightly defensed by LeBron James, what did he say?
He said, I tried my go-to move, but we played together so much, and you saw it. But is his go-to move really to turn his back to the basket from 25 feet when you need 3 points? Is that really your go-to move?
So this theory that familiarity to your opponent and having a level of friendship with the guys you're going against doesn't affect the product, it can, because of what we just said. And it did last night. Now, here's the other thing. It's a lie when people say they compete against their enemy tougher than they do against their friend. Somebody that tells you that, they don't respect you, because that's a bold-faced lie. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Number 2, how about this? And this is really fascinating. Both of these guys are in their 16th seasons. In their 16th season, they only played 4 together. They were in the East about 10 more years together. Never played each other in the playoffs.
Never happened once.
So if they were to play each other in the playoffs, then we don't know how that would change the relationship. Look over my right shoulder. Yep. That was in the playoffs. And you know who Magic's head coach was? Pat Riley. And he didn't like it then, and he definitely don't like it now.
What do you think about the notion that they ushered in the era of super teams? Now, obviously, there were the Celtics, but what do you think about the notion that they ushered in the era of super teams, these two?
So here's what they usher, and this is more of a LeBron James thing that also piggybacks this topic, is there was a big 3 in Boston, but it was front office driven, even though KD had to waive his no trade clause.
That's a good point.
To put together Ray Allen and Paul Pierce.
KG, but yeah.
This seemed to be player driven because LeBron James was an MVP. So it seemed to be the first domino for the league that players started to take a level of ownership that I want to play in a situation where I choose that's going to get me closest to a championship. Therefore, people like Kevin Durant, who in 2010 frowned upon this.
Yeah, he tweeted about it.
Not only when the Heat did it, but when the Lakers did it. And he had his Twitter fingers. I assume this was his regular account. I don't think it was his regular
No,
burner
that's his real account. That's his real account.
At the time. Now that fascinates me. Look at the teams he named. He got license plates on there.
The Heat and the Lakers.
Heat and the Lakers. Now it didn't work with Dwight Howard and Steve Nash and Kobe Bryant and Mike D'Antoni.
How?
But he was able to take that baton and leave the Oklahoma City Thunder when they just, unlike Wade, unlike LeBron, played each other in the playoffs and lost. And joined a 73-win team. So that is a part of the legacy and kinship / friendship that goes with the greatness of one LeBron James and Dwyane Wade.
You don't hear about GMs recruiting players as much as you hear about players recruiting players nowadays. And I think they had something to do with that. Now, after the game, the cameras were on them. And these are two very media-savvy people. They exchanged jerseys, and they also exchanged some words. Let's take a look.
Just that.
Wait. LeBron James doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't get the things that he wants on wax are on wax. And he said it's either here or the Garden. Did LeBron James just hint that he was considering playing for the Lakers or the New York Knickerbockers in that piece of video?
Yes. During his career, when he's become a free agent, we've always speculated which large market situation LeBron would go to, not only for basketball reasons, but for his entrepreneurial spirit. Yeah. One that he's carried stronger than any great player ever while he was in the league. So where can you foster that and try to snowball it into something extremely special? Usually New York City, where he's tweeted and IG'd and called himself the king of New York and done a lot of things that made their fan base feel like he would go there. The same with Los Angeles.
Well, he mentioned the Garden, right? And I have some theories I want you to take a look at. Okay. Because it could be taken a lot of different ways. And I dug deep into this. So you take a look here. He could be talking about Madison Square Garden, right? the mecca of basketball, the world's most famous arena, greatest place to see a basketball game. He could also be talking about the TD Garden, playing for the Celtics. But I have a theory. I think that he was actually talking about Olive Garden. The breadsticks, unlimited salad, they love wine. I really think he was talking about Olive Garden. These two frequent Olive Garden. Think about that. We know they love wine. They've got an extensive wine list there. And the undeniable garlic breadsticks. I think that the sports media is so quick to jump to conclusions that they're talking about Madison Square Garden. But we know on this show, they were talking about the real OG, the original OG. The Olive Garden. Do you agree with that theory?
I don't agree with that theory, but it's really funny.
Okay. Well, all of this did, this whole, the last hurrah for Dwyane and LeBron, it's taken over. But really what it is, it's overshadowing something that's very important that's happening to the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lance effect. Lance Stevenson, the way that he changes the team.
Lonzo, what a pass, and then Lance doesn't shoot it. Lance was there to lay it in after a brilliant pass from Lonzo.
So here's the thing, is you see Lance here, why take a good shot when you can give up for a great shot? Lance, outlet, push the tempo. Lonzo, that's the Lance effect. That pass right there is the Lance effect. Also the Lance effect, that look on Luke Walton's face. Lance Stevenson changes basketball teams. The Lance effect is why the Lakers have been playing so well lately. Do you agree?
I disagree.
What?
He can't be a productive player, and they're going to need him as a rotation guy to actually make good decisions and be more efficient when he gets his opportunities. But turnovers as well as unselfish plays do snowball, and that was a perfect example of that. And also, when you're right underneath the hoop and somebody gives you a dime, you got to finish it.
What are you talking about?
You got to finish it.
What do you mean?
Zoe gave him a dime.
What if you can up fake and then pass to your colleague who's also covered?
People like you highlighting plays like this for Lance that watched him in the Kingdom, that know the 8th grader, that love Born Ready, that have a Lance tattoo on his buttocks. When you highlight these plays, you know what you're going to do, right? You know what you're going to do, right? You know what you're going to do, right? You're going to make us start paying attention. And you know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen, right? You'll start getting them DMPs.
The minutes
you know that, right?
I want to make a couple things clear. One, I support Lance forever. 2, I do not have a Lance tattoo on my buttocks, as Jalen Rose just said. Just want to make that very clear. Sometimes people think the things that we say in the microphones are true. Jalen Rose, it is time for news that matters. Big shout out to the Podfather.
No doubt.
At The Ringer, they have added a new podcast called Winging It, hosted by Vince Carter and Kent Bazemore. And on that podcast, they had guests, Andre Iguodala and Steph Curry. And they said something that I literally cannot believe. Let's listen.
We ever been to the moon?
Nope.
They're going to come get us. I don't think so either. I'm conspiracy. Sorry, I don't want to start a conspiracy. They ain't been on the moon.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
Jalen Rose. Please. Just please tell me that you believe that human beings landed on the moon.
I'm with Steph and AI on this one.
I knew it. I'm
with them on this one.
Okay, if you're going to say you've seen the footage.
Let me tell you this.
There's footage.
I see a lot of footage that gets doctored. I see a lot of footage.
Look at that footage.
Not necessarally accurate.
So
this
is a sound studio. This is a sound studio. That's what you're saying. This is directed by Martin Scorsese.
All right. Here's the thing.
Photoshop.
How many years?
1968.
How many years ago was that? 50 years, right? So if we were making that level of progress 50 years ago, this is when people barely were watching television. When it was not in colors, black and white. Okay, this was segregation was taking place in our country.
What makes you think that we were not on the moon?
Where's the progress?
Okay, Jalen, I went on a cruise once. You know what I'm not doing again? Going on a cruise. They went up to the moon, put a flag up. There's nothing there. Why make the return trip?
There's an individual walking the face of the earth selling real estate on the moon.
Okay.
And what makes it worse is there are people that are buying it.
What makes it worse is people like you that don't believe that human beings have been there before when they have the footage. It happened. It's a major accomplishment. It's a major part of our history.
First and foremost, I applaud the great people of NASA and all of the individuals that take time and energy to press the boundaries of what we see.
You're calling all those people liars. You're calling all of those people liars.
All that I'm saying is I need to see more information.
Then the footage of it? Oh, well, guess what? You know what those great people of NASA you just disrespected?
No,
they got some bars for you. They got some bars for you, Jalen Rose.
Give them to me.
They got some bars for you. Here's what my man Alan Boodle said. He said, we have hundreds of pounds of moon rock stored there and the Apollo mission control, talking about Houston. During his visit, talking about Steph, he can see firsthand what we did 50 years ago, as well as what we're doing now to go back to the moon in the coming years. But this time to stay.
Stop it.
Okay, Jalen Rose.
See,
now you think Alan, you call my man Alan a liar? Look at the camera and call Alan a liar again. I dare you.
I love you, Alan. I'm not calling you a liar.
Yes, you are.
I'm just saying that there's a reason why he studied astrology and I studied mass communications. Like, I don't foresee.
Astrology?
Oh, yeah, astronomy.
Okay.
Astronomy.
Okay.
I don't foresee something 50 years ago still being visible and tangible like it was left there and it's been 5 decades. I just don't see it. If that was the case, we might as well start living there. He said here to stay. So if you going each time, why they not leaving stuff?
They left the flag, dog.
No, why don't you leave some bricks? Why don't you build some things? Bricks and mortar.
One step at a time, Jalen Rose. One step at a time.
What about vehicles? What about food? And how many people can actually do this? Like, here's the other thing.
Jalen.
Like, how many people, if they had the opportunity?
Do you think you sound smart right now to our audience?
I don't care.
That's a good point.
How many people, if they had the opportunity, would get in a space shuttle and go to the moon?
I would say 1 out of 1,000.
Okay.
It's just a bad idea.
And 1 out of 1,000?
I don't even like flying to Los Angeles.
What about 1 in 100 million?
I don't like flying to Los Angeles. I'm not doing that. And you got to train. You got to train forever. I'm not doing that. First of all, I want to apologize to Alan. We called him Alan. His name's Allard.
Come on, man.
Shout out to Allard. Allard, I'll go look at those moon rocks if Steph and Jalen won't. Moving on. They had a game on Monday Night Football last night. I stayed up for it.
I did too.
Because it had playoff implications. I was expecting a show. I didn't get a show.
Not a show.
I didn't get a show. I got a whack game.
A defensive show.
Nah, it wasn't a defensive show. Like that, the Bears put on a defensive show. This was a boring game between the Vikings and the Seahawks, with the Seahawks eventually winning. Now, this morning, I thought the discussion would be about Kirk Cousins. I thought the discussion would be about the Seahawks coming together at the right time in the playoffs. But no. Do you know what the national discussion is about? It's about this play, where Wagner jumps over people and blocks a field goal. They would have won the game regardless. So I don't know why everybody was up in arms about this. They threw a flag and then eventually ate the flag. What do you think about the decision to not call this as a penalty?
It's a blown call. It's a missed opportunity. It's something that the officials will get reprimanded for. It's something, if it happens in the future, likely will get penalized. So players shouldn't get enthusiastic about the fact that it wasn't called. I'm impressed by the way Pete Carroll reinvented his team.
Mm-hmm.
How they're not the Legion of Boom anymore. However, they still have Bobby Wagner playing at an all-pro level.
Well, he's about the only defensive player left. Yeah.
Frank Clark is probably their best defensive player.
Goal line stand. He made
and
a big
here's
part,
the one thing
play.
I want to say about their secondary, in particular their safeties. Them pads be thumping. Like them boys be hitting. And so, like, for them to have a win streak at this point of the season after the way they've started, and obviously they have an elite quarterback in Russell Wilson, it's really been impressive.
And take a look at where they are in the playoff picture right now, because they've really worked themselves into the middle of it. They're right in the thick of the NFC. They're leading in the wild card. They've got a lock on that wild card, and it really seems like it's those 5 teams you see on the left side of the screen, and then the, 6 teams on the right side of the screen, just trying to get in.
Well, that's what the playoffs matchups are going to be right there. Just take a picture of that. Those are the teams that's going to be in.
Oh, you think
Minnesota and the Vikings
are locked in?
Get those wild card spots.
I could see that. Jalen, sometimes when you're on the internet, you're on your phone, you click the Instagram icon or the Twitter icon, things get socially awkward. They're about to do right now. LeVeon Bell. Look at that. Liked by LeVeon Bell. Oh, what's this Instagram post that he liked? Oh, just the final score of the game of the Steelers losing to the Raiders. Jalen, do you support this behavior?
I support this behavior.
You support this behavior? What? Interesting.
I've been traded before.
Uh-huh.
And guess what happens when I go to another team?
Makes you feel bad?
I'm not rooting for my old squad. And if he gets a chance to throw shade in the process, you do it.
If you get traded, you feel a certain way about the people that traded you, the people that decided they don't want you on the team anymore.
Or if they don't pay me, I feel worse.
Then they don't pay you, but fine. But LeVeon Bell made a conscious decision not to be a teammate of these people.
Well, in his estimation, they made a conscious decision not to pay me. Therefore, they forced my hand, thinking that I'm going to play for $14 million in a franchise tag, and everybody thinks I'm going to cave week 10. Kiki, ha ha. I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm going to wait till this offseason when I know there are going to be suitors. And let me just say it to a microphone.
What are you going to say to a microphone?
For the second time where I think he's going to end up playing, potentially. The Colts.
Colts. Huh.
Alongside Andrew Luck.
If that would happen, I would like that team more than the Steelers at the beginning of next season.
See?
If that would happen, I would like that team with that group and that offensive line more than the Steelers to begin the season next year. And I know that he would love to match up against the Steelers.
Well, I just saw this happen with Eric Ebron, a former Lion. I knew he was going to ball because Andrew Luck gets tight ends involved.
Let's not start comparing the Lions to the Steelers, please. Let's not do that. You already said that the humans weren't on the moon.
They were there quick.
I made the switch to electric toothbrushes a long time ago, and I will never, ever, 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 ever look back. When I travel and I have to use a regular toothbrush, it's just like, what am I doing? What year is this? And I've made the switch to a Quip toothbrush, and I will never not use a Quip toothbrush. The Quip electric toothbrushes is one of the most gift-guided gifts of the season, and let me tell you why. Because every single day, hopefully twice a day, people brush their teeth. And when they experience the Quip toothbrush, they'll enjoy brushing their teeth. They'll look forward to brushing their teeth. And they'll think about you every time they do it. And it's super affordable. The Quip experience is so dope. They have sensitive sonic vibrations, gentle enough for your sensitive gums, and a built-in timer that tell you when to switch sides. It's so much fun. It's easy to travel with. It's the gift that keeps refreshing. Brush heads automatically get delivered on a dentist-recommended schedule every 3 months for just $5. That's $20 a year for the best toothbrush experience that you could possibly have. If you buy someone the Quip toothbrush, I promise every single time you see them, they will thank you for getting them the Quip toothbrush. The Quip toothbrush is easily, by far, the most premier toothbrushing experience that you could possibly have. I love the Quip. And guess what? You can love the Quip too. Right now, go to getquip.com/Jalen. GETQUIP.com/Jalen. And for just $25, you get a big ticket tech gift at a stocking stuffer price. Just $25. Go to getquip.com/Jalen. Get the people in your life Quip. Get everybody in your life Quip. Seriously, go there and just fill in all the different addresses. It's a one-stop shop for the people in your life, and they will love the Quip toothbrush just like I do.
Technology Truths, brought to you by Geico.
Technology Truths.
Truth. Teenagers can communicate entirely in emojis.
How was the birthday party? Pizza slice, kitten, soccer ball, pineapple?
Truth. It's so easy to switch and save on car insurance at Geico.com.
What are you talking about? Paperclip, shoulder shrug, high five, wizard hat? What?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Jalen Rose. When I saw this headline, I said, I need to talk to Jalen about this. Because I never played in the NBA. I've never been in the locker room. I don't know how these things work. The Chicago Bulls, we told you yesterday, they were considering not practicing the Sunday after a back-to-back when they lost by 56 points. They ended up going to practice, having a players-only meeting and a team meeting. Now we have new information. They told Yahoo Sports that the Bulls players have contacted the Players Association about new coach Jim Boylen's extreme tactics, saying that he did things like, made them practice for a long time, made them do push-ups, made them do extra sprints, and also made them practice after back-to-backs. And he twice subbed out all 5 players at once. Is this a case of the Bulls players being soft or Jim Boylen not understanding how to motivate his team?
Jim Boylen has been around the league for a really long time, and this is not a good look for the Bulls players because each cause has an effect. And when you get beat by 50-plus points, there's going to be a reaction.
That's a good point.
That's just how this goes.
Don't get beat by 56.
I don't care if it's after a back-to-back. I don't care if we play 5 games in 5 days. There's going to be a reaction from a guy who's now the interim that hopes to keep the job.
They actually didn't even put the interim label on him.
And so, correct, because there's no need to put it on him. Because if they go undefeated the rest of the year, he's going to be their coach.
Be the coach. Yeah.
Okay, that's just how this works. And so, you can never look good as a performer when you're losing if you are trying to paint the picture that it's too difficult. The practice is too hard.
The push-ups part I thought was weird. It was like, wait, made you do push-ups?
Hey, man, let me tell you something. It's just what happens. Okay? We lost a game in high school. We were undefeated. And guess what we did when we got back to the school? We practiced. That's just how this goes. And so, again, it's unique for the Bulls when you look at their roster for a team that seems to be tanking, but the parts don't fit for one that should be. Lopez is a veteran. LeVeon has a big contract. They brought in Jabari on a big contract. Portis has been there under a different regime. Markkanen has shown terrific promise as a young player. Dunn was a lottery pick. So when you have these guys, you hope to be building towards something, not stop trying for Zion, which we see. This is why, and I'll say it on our program, the Bulls should consider their next head coach to be Juwan Howard.
I can't wait till that happens. Big shout to Juwan Howard.
He's experienced. He's learning under the best in one of the best in Eric Spoelstra. He's a champion, and he just so happens to be a Chi-Town native.
The team on the other end, it's winning games, 5 in a row, heading into this one against the Pelicans, the Boston Celtics. However, they headed into this game without Kyrie Irving, without Gordon Hayward, and without Horford. They're all-stars. What'd they do? They won. They've now won 6 in a row. Is this the real Celtics that we're seeing?
These are the real Celtics that we're seeing. And let me tell you about the dynamics of the team. Oh, the all-stars ain't playing tonight? Cool!
Marcus Morris is ready to fire him up.
Oh, my goodness. You mean 2 of those guys we actually made to the conference finals without? Oh, that's regular season game in December? Playground style. Marcus Morris out there getting his 30.
Yep.
Tatum getting his 20. Jaylen Brown getting attempts off the bench. Everybody gets a chance to feel good about their role because there's more minutes to be divided.
It's a great point. And finally, we have the Sixers. They played your Detroit Pistons. They beat the Pistons. The Pistons started hot. But this is about the Sixers, and this is what's important. Jimmy Butler left the game with a groin injury. They ended up winning the game. Joel Embiid kind of got himself back on track. Do you think there's a correlation between Joel Embiid getting back on track and Jimmy Butler being off the floor?
I don't think there's a correlation there. I think these are both intelligent basketball players along with Ben Simmons. And you enter a unique phase as an athlete that participates in team sports because you always have to draw the dynamic of, do I want to win under any terms or do I want to win by all means necessary? Mm-hmm. And you always hear people talk about wanting to win. Newsflash. People who don't work hard want to win.
Of course, everyone wants
to win. But what are you willing to sacrifice? And this comment, I think it was more emotional than truly how Joel Embiid feels. So I'm not going to come down really hard on him. But here's what you cannot do. First off, not having Jimmy Butler, they were a pretender. Mm-hmm. They lost to the Celtics without Kyrie. You add Jimmy, you're a contender. You're legitimate. But on your only day off, like Craig and Friday of the year, they win in Detroit. That ain't the time to complain about your role.
No.
That is not the time for that. The approach will make some people feel like, is he being selfish? So what he has to do is earn a headband. You know how you do that? On Philadelphia? Okay. Lockdown on D. And I've noticed 2 people are wearing them. Butler and Simmons. That's an internal message to the rest of the guys.
I like that. Well, we'll keep an eye on the headbands, the headgear over there in Philadelphia. Right now, we have to talk about something that's a little sensitive to me. You know, I have to open up and be vulnerable, and giving my whole self to this program is just part of the process. Last week wasn't a great week for me. We had the honor of having Meek Mill here, and after the Meek Mill interview, naturally, I just wanted to thank him for his time here, so I gave him a little handshake.
You were just going hitchhiking.
It didn't go great. He grabbed my thumb. We adjusted. We ended up getting there, but I was a little embarrassed about it. And of course, our friends at High Noon had to make this video, put it on the internet, and now everyone wants to talk to me about it. Okay, 2 days later, we had Deontay Wilder on the show.
Shout out.
And I was so focused not to repeat that. If you don't grow from your mistakes, if you don't learn as a human being, then really who are you? So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to mess that one up again.
Oh, Jacobs!
I messed it up again.
You did and knew it.
I messed it up again. If you look, he was going for the thumb grip and then the finger grip, and I left him on the finger grip. See how you did both? I only got half a handshake.
And you got to have a little soul. Watch the head nod we got, too.
Oh,
why we got the look.
Oh, wow. The simultaneous head nod. See, Jalen, I don't think I'm ever going to touch another human being again.
You know what?
I got PTSD from last week.
You know what?
I'm not touching anybody anymore.
I got breaking news.
What's the breaking news?
This need to be at the bottom of the ticker on ESPN, on every sports outlet.
What's that?
Here's what has happened. We've been doing this program for almost 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I have people coming up to me all of the time. And this is a question that they ask. Now you guys know, because we come on at 2 o'clock on ESPN2.
What do they know?
David Jacoby's a white guy.
Oh, definitely a white guy. Yep. That's just proof.
And it's okay.
That's just proof. You know what? When we have a guest next time, you're going to have to ask every single question because I'm just be staring at their right hand the entire time. Just waiting. I was going to be staring at their right hand the entire time, just waiting for my opportunity. And I'm going to get it right. I'm going to get it right next time, I promise. And if I don't, I'll try again next time.
But you know what a handshake could never give you that you got, my brother? Soul.
Jalen Rose, I absolutely love Luka Doncic, and this clip makes me love him more. Let's just watch him run a simple pick and roll with DeAndre Jordan.
Rolling, he got the dunk. Luka is super happy about it.
Soft move or boss move, celebrating like a 5-year-old.
Soft move.
What?
Soft move.
Oh, come on.
Come on, man.
You want to be tough? Yo, chest bump. Good job, DeAndre. This gets me more pumped.
What about giving a two-handed high five when the other guy only has one? That's how they looked. That's a soft move.
Two-handed high five.
When he did this, he went to give DeAndre dap. DeAndre did this.
You just play me like Meek Mill played me.
I'm trying to show you.
I'm never giving anybody a congratulatory handshake.
Watch DeAndre. I watch for things like this.
Okay,
man.
What do you see?
Look.
That wasn't good. That wasn't good. That wasn't good. That was very Meek Mill, David Jacoby right there. I like that though. I'm gonna start doing that every time you make a good point.
When you
I'm gonna start doing that.
got your
Jalen Rose,
Beastie Boys album.
You're gonna love this one, Jalen Rose. You're gonna love this one. Here is what Giannis had to say about why he doesn't work out in the summer with other top NBA players. He said this, quote, "I can't work out with you in the summer and then play you in a few months. It feels weird. It doesn't feel right with me. Like other players, it's cool for other players, but I don't want to. Other guys do it." Jalen, I know all you old grizzled veterans that like the way that it was back in my day are loving this quote.
So for me, it's a difference between working out together, doing drills, versus playing 5-on-5 runs. Those are two total different dynamics.
So would you consider this attitude a soft move or a boss move?
A boss move.
Oh.
He just became the favorite player of any player that's retired.
I know he did, because you guys love it.
With this comment. Because look no further than the end of the Lakers game. Dwyane Wade got bottled up by LeBron James. He clearly said, he knew what was coming. That familiarity.
You never played at UCLA in 5-on-5 runs?
Yes.
You never did that? You never played in those games with players that are currently in the league that you're going to play against?
Yes.
Okay.
5-on-5. But we weren't meeting up constantly trying to see where we could go do drills together.
Do you know what this is? Giannis got brothers. That's what this is. That's all I have to say. Giannis got brothers. He's like, I don't need to work out with other players. He's like, I got a family of basketball players, and we can work out together.
That has happened before, but now it's become so commonplace that the line is not blurred. The line has been blurred officially.
I'm fine with it. Moving on. The Dolphins, Kenyon Drake scored that touchdown. Gronkowski tripping over himself. And after he scored that touchdown, what did he do? He just was so wrapped up in his emotions, he threw that historic football from that miracle in Miami into the crowd. Well, now he wants it back, and let's watch him make a plea.
I threw the ball in the stands, and I would love to have it back, but we can make a trade. I got cleats. I I got gloves. I got a jersey. And I even got tickets. Just let me know.
I've got a historic football from one of the greatest moments in the history of the Dolphins franchise. And you're going to give me some laundry and some tickets? Lowballing the person that has your historic football, soft move or boss move?
Double laterals to win a game, boss move. The way he ran past Gronk.
Boss
but that
move.
video,
that
soft
you got to
move.
go bigger than that.
So let me just tell you how you get it done.
Okay.
I got one word for you.
You're just starting the negotiations.
You want me to get the negotiations going for you?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Cash. 100,000.
Thank you. That's the value of this football.
That gets
you want tickets? Season tickets for how many years? You know what I mean? Like, you're talking about, give me some cleats and a jersey? What are you talking? Come on, Drake. Come on, KD. I need more than that. If I had that football and I was on my couch and I saw that video, I would laugh. I wouldn't even reach out. I wouldn't be like, no. I'm not responding to that first offer. I need to hear a second offer.
Well,
before
there's
I respond.
a reason why he did a video.
He had it lit too. Like, it was like a real camera. Like, that wasn't just like,
there's a
pointing my
reason
phone
why.
at me.
That clearly wasn't the first attempt.
Oh, you think he already reached out?
And then when he realized that, oh man, they really not giving me the ball. People acting like I'm really not going to get this thing returned to me. I need to do a video. That became the next play.
So you know the fight game. So you know this young man. I've been to a Lomachenko fight, and he is, in my opinion, pound for pound, the best boxer out. He just doesn't lose. You can't hit him. He's always in control. Like, he does not get hit when he's in the ring. We had the pleasure of having him on our air on Saturday night, and he dominated Pedraza. He did. However, it went 12 rounds. He doesn't knock everybody out all the time. But there was a bettor at Flamingo Sportsbook that put down $1,000 on Lomachenko. And because of the odds, guess how much that bettor won? $14.30. Betting $1,000 to win $14. Soft move or boss move?
Soft move. That return on investment isn't worth it.
Doesn't sound
You're better off walking past one of the games that you do or don't know how to play in Vegas, blackjack, roulette, whatever, and just dropping it down there and see what you can
seeing
get.
what happens. Exactly, because betting $1,000, anything can happen in a fight. Anything can happen. It's not a 7-game NBA series where the best team most likely wins. Like, anything can happen at any moment.
This is a perfect example of why I don't bet on sports. Because I knew Lomachenko was coming off an injury. And I knew that it was going the distance. I felt because of that injury, he wouldn't have what it took to knock out his opponent. And I'm happy I wasn't watching that fight because I bet 8th round, 9th round, 10th round. Is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? I could just sit back, microwave, hot sake, red wine, ESPN, and not even think about it twice.
I just like the idea of you microwaving your sake, which I know you do, and then also having red wine and just switching between the two. You're my favorite. You're my favorite person in the world. Popcorn, red wine, and sake. Yeah, I know how you get down. Finally, there's a 9-year-old girl in Canada, and she called 911. And of course, the first responders, they took it very seriously, right? So they're going to Canada. They get there. They get to the home. They're like, there was a young girl, called 911, there's an emergency. And the girl, she's 9 years old, she comes out. She told these first responders that she called 911 because her parents were making her clean her room. Calling the police because your parents make you clean your room. Soft move or boss move?
Boss move.
Jalen.
I know because like we have certain debates and you think I'm going to take the elder statesman approach like I did with
I know
Giannis.
how you always support the police and you support people that come in the time of need.
This is cultural. Yep. And so like growing up in an urban environment, I didn't realize this was taking place in suburban environments until I moved to the suburbs and saw some of the kids behave in the supermarket. Yep. I'm like,
first of all,
like,
a couple things here.
Whoa.
First, couple things here.
Like what?
Guess what? Kids don't always behave perfect all the time in public, and anyone who's been in a restaurant with me at the same time as my family knows that that's the case. And I apologize to all the tables around me. Second of all, you can't be wasting these people's time. Like, they rushed over there like it's an emergency.
Well,
with
you're
the
9 years
sirens on
old.
and
You don't
everything.
care about nobody's time except your own. And I'm trying not to get a whooping. I'm trying not to clean my room.
What do you think happened after the police left?
I ain't cleaned my room, and they couldn't make me.
I believe in Daryl Morey. I really do. Probably because it's the only GM I've actually talked to and knows my name or whatever. But I believe in Daryl Morey. I just think he's really smart, and the Rockets put together such a great team last year. The defensive changes that they made, their improvements, they were so fun to watch. And James Harden is a maestro with the basketball. I didn't think the Chris Paul thing was going to work. It obviously worked last year. But there's some news from our friend Mark Stein.
Shout out.
That I don't necessarily believe in. Let's take a look at what Steiny Mo tweeted. He tweeted this. The Rockets have expressed exploratory interest in acquiring J.R. Smith, according to league sources. Smith is currently on hiatus from the Cavaliers as Cleveland seeks a new home for the veteran shooting guard via trade. Mr. Rose, I've watched the Rockets this year, and I do not believe that the solution to the problems that the Rockets have is adding J.R. Smith.
Nope.
Why do you think Daryl Morey, D'Antoni, and this brain trust would say, do you know what we really need to do? Get J.R. Smith.
We talked about it on this program. Getting J.R. or Kyle Korver from the Cavs were things that could possibly happen for a number of teams who weren't tanking like the Cavs currently are.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to acquire him via trade, which makes it tricky.
Yeah.
Because you have to now give up something. And he doesn't solve your defensive issues.
No.
But what does Mike D'Antoni want to do more than anything?
Run and shoot threes.
J.R. Smith is a volume 3-point shooter.
Just have him stand in the corner.
So he
and then hide him on defense.
Fit for that dynamic. It doesn't solve their issues, all of them.
No.
But he will help the Houston Rockets. Because if you look deeper into their lineup, past like player number 4 or 5.
Oh, yeah.
Most of those guys aren't knockdown 3 shooters.
They played a couple people I had to Google recently.
Okay.
Like I had to Google them recently. And like I also want to point something else out, a trend for the Rockets, which is a little concerning. I believe in Chris Paul. I'm not sure I believe in this contract for Chris Paul. And if you look at his numbers this year, this season is his worst points per game, his worst 3-point percentage, and his worst free throw percentage, which doesn't really mean that much. But look at the bottom one. 4 years, $160 million, average just under $40 million a year. Jalen Rose, do you think they will regret signing this contract?
I don't think they'll regret it, but here's what you have to do in that dynamic. You understand at what point of his career that you're giving him the deal.
Yep.
You got to reinvent your roster so that he doesn't become a guy whose usage has to be as high this year as it was last year. Get somebody else that could take some pressure off of him. Somebody else that could take the pressure off James so that they're fresher come playoff time. When a guy's injured in the playoffs, then he's injured at the start of the season. That proves my theory.
Jalen, I have some really sad news about a power couple that we've covered extensively on this program. There is a woman in Ireland, and she got married to a pirate, and that pirate was a 300-year-old ghost. And
pirate?
Yeah.
Ghost?
Yeah. This couple, I have sad news. Looks like they're headed for a breakup. And the woman had this to say about the relationship and life in general. Amanda said, I will explain all in due course, but for now, all I want to say is be very careful when dabbling in spirituality. It's not something to mess with. Jalen Rose, can you imagine that this relationship between a pirate ghost and a current living human being in Ireland didn't work out?
I'm not surprised, but I support love. And I support people.
Oh, I didn't know you were going to go this way.
At being
great show,
best,
Jalen. Great show. I'm not falling for that. I want to thank everybody for calling in. Don't forget, ladies.
Hey, ladies.
Call 98580 Jalen. We always appreciate hearing from the females for our Day of the Week Wednesday dedicated to the females of our species. Fellas, if there's a female in your life, have her call in 98580 Jalen. You'll be on the show tomorrow. We also have a special guest. Can't wait for that. We'll be back tomorrow. Why is that, KRS?
We're not done. We're not done. Got to give the people time. Give people what they want.
They my little guys. I love them.
Speaking of the Hobbits, let's talk about LeBron James for
All I care about is my nipples. Seriously.
Getting knocked down on the football field makes you tough. But getting back up makes you tougher. At Goodyear, we call that determination. A willingness to put in more hours, more reps, and more heart to reach a bar that's sky high. Because the Goodyear blimp doesn't show up for just anybody. So don't be just anybody. Be blimp worthy. Goodyear, more driven.